That's a good question because as a non-native speaker, I know that I will be learning the language my whole life. And actually, the same is true for native speaker as well, because there will always be new words. For example, you
Yeah.
can always improve your eloquency, right? The way you speak the language. So obviously, podcasts is for me like kind of like they're the next step.
Hey guys, welcome to SilvaCast. Welcome to one more episode. I'm Fred Silva, and if you want to speak English with confidence, if you want to unlock your speaking skills, this is the podcast you need to watch. I'm here every single week with a new guest just to help you to unlock your confidence and speak English for real. So in today's episode, I will interview Veronica. She's from Russia. She has uh, an English channel, and she's helping people all over the world to speak English confidently and speaking English fluently. So in this conversation, we talk about English speaking clubs, about speaking skills, about fluency, about languages in general, and I'm sure you will love the conversation, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from this conversation. So, first of all, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, consider to subscribe, hit the like button to help us to share this knowledge with more people. And guys, today I have a special guest. She's from Russia. She speaks English very well, and she is an English teacher now. And I'm so honored to receive you, Veronica, today in SilvaCast. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Veronica, first of all, introduce yourself for those that don't know you yet. So who you are, where you live, what do you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Veronica. I am originally from Russia, but I moved to Mexico City a year ago. So I've been living in Mexico for a year now. I really love this country. Living here has changed my life in a lot of different ways. Yeah, and I am an English teacher online. So I have a YouTube channel where I teach people English, kind of more sharing my journey, right? Like I want to be able to share my journey, and maybe thanks to that, people will like learn English, right? Get motivated at least to learn English. I have a speaking club, and I also have a workbook. Recently, I started selling my workbook to help people again learn English, read in English, and learn useful vocabulary.
Well, I have a lot of questions about you, about your English learning journey, about your teaching style, about everything. But I want to start with I saw on your channel you saying that English was not your favorite subject. You didn't like English before. So my first
Yeah,
question
no.
is, why did you decide to study English? And after, why did you decide to teach English online? So how this happened to you?
Yeah, so English was never my favorite subject at school because actually English is not my first kind of foreign language, right? Because when I was a kid, I originally studied French. I had an amazing
Hmm.
French teacher. She was wonderful, and she really made me fall in love with French. And later on, like I kind of understood that she really made me fall in love with language learning because, like, all the things that she taught me connected to French helped me later on when I was learning English. And right now, when I'm learning Spanish, for example, yeah, so I loved math when I was at school. I loved French, I loved history, but I did not like English at all.
What was the spark that make you start to look at English to in a different way? So why did you decide to focus in this language?
It was YouTube. One
YouTube.
day, I think I was probably around 14 years old. I opened YouTube and I was like, okay, here are all my favorite YouTubers, Russian YouTubers. I love their videos, but like, I feel like I'm bored. Like, I want to find more people, right? More people to watch. And I was like, what if instead of searching in Russian, I try searching in English? And I just typed in like vlog or like my everyday life, something like that, because that was my favorite genre at the time, like of YouTube videos. And I found so many YouTubers who lived in the States, for example, who were making videos about their everyday lives. And I was like, that's so interesting because when you watch American movies, for example, you often think, is it real, right? All of those buses and schools and high school and stuff. But when you watch YouTubers, you understand that it's real because they just, pull out a camera and start filming their day. So that was definitely YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube is an amazing tool. For me, it was like the same. YouTube has changed my life since I started to study English because you have a
Yeah.
lot of resources there. You have different styles of teaching, and we can
Yeah.
find native English teachers. You can find teachers that teach in your own language, and especially
Hmm.
in the beginning. So, do you have a
Yeah.
favorite YouTuber or something? Maybe it's a,
Um, It's a tough question, but I feel like it always fluctuates. Like I'm a person who is very deep into self-development and stuff. So I love all of those YouTube channels. And right now, I'm living this era of podcasts. So
yeah.
I'm obsessed with the one is called The Deep Dive or just Deep Dive with Ali Abdal. Like he is an amazing just person who helps people become better versions of themselves. And the other one I really like is called The Iced Coffee Hour by Graham Stephan. I love Graham Stephan as well. His videos like about finances, very, very useful. So yeah, right now I just really love watching podcasts on YouTube.
Good. And how to watch podcasts and videos on YouTube right now help you to improve your English? Because I know you
Hmm,
teach now, but you'll continue to learn, right? So
of
how can
course, yeah.
this help you to with your English nowadays?
That's a good question because as a non-native speaker, I know that I will be learning the language my whole life. And actually, the same is true for native speaker as well, because there will always be new words. For example, you
Yeah.
can always improve your eloquency, right? The way you speak the language. So obviously, podcasts is for me like kind of like they're the next step, right? Because oftentimes, for example, Ali Abdel, he often invites extremely intelligent people. The way they speak English is amazing. Like I'm always in awe when I watch his videos because I'm like, wow, this guy, like for example, like guest, right, is extremely eloquent. His language, his vocabulary, because oftentimes they're either PhD students or professors or scientists. So obviously they have to have a very high level of English.
And I think this helped you as helped me to step up the language and try to learn in an advanced way, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. Yeah.
Good, good, good. Do you said that you speak Chinese, English, French, Russian, of course. One more,
Yeah. Spanish. I'm learning Spanish
Spanish.
right now. Yeah.
Wow. And
Well,
you
I
are
don't speak French anymore, unfortunately. I completely lost my fluency just because it was not my priority. Because I
uh,
completely understand that learning a language takes time. And right now, my priority is Spanish. Of course, English will always be my priority as well because I work in English. But right now, for me, it's kind of easier, right, to learn. I can just like turn on my favorite show or a podcast and like that's it, that's how I'm learning. But Spanish for sure, like I really really need to learn the language as fast as possible because I live in Mexico, so it's very important. And Chinese, I studied Chinese in college. It was my major, but unfortunately, right now, again, it's not my priority. I do still remember a lot of things. It's funny because here in Mexico City, I have met a few Chinese people just like randomly in parks. They were trying to take pictures, like they were tourists for sure. And a guy came up to me and he was trying to speak Spanish to me. And he was like, "Oh, can you like take a photo of us?" And I responded in Chinese and he freaked out. He was like, "What? You speak Chinese? That's crazy." So I still remember basic things, but definitely, I'm losing my fluency day by day, but it's okay. That's life.
This is the thing that I really love when I speak in somebody else's language. The face they get when you speak in their language. So it's like an
Exactly.
amazing thing, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. They just get so surprised and happy. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing you said about forgot, lose the language. It happened with me too because I speak Spanish too. Spanish is my second language. And when I was at the beginning of my journey, I was obsessed about Spanish. I was speaking every single day. I made a lot of friends in Mexico, Colombia, Puerto Rico, a lot of places. But unfortunately, because of my time and I need to focus in English on English, I kind of lose a little bit. But if I try to speak for 5 minutes, the language all of a sudden come back to my mind. So it's kind of
Yeah,
you just need to practice. You just need to practice,
exactly.
and I think this happens with English too. If you don't use the language on a daily basis, it'll
Mm-hmm.
happen. It'll happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, using the language is very important. Yeah, when you like, if you never learn the language, if you never use it, how are you gonna get better at it?
Yeah, use the language is so important. So important. English right now, I try to use every day, and I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that my progress is because the practice I try to do on a daily basis. So
Exactly.
important. It's so important.
Yeah.
And speaking about this, Veronica, let me ask you this question. What is English fluency for you? What is fluency in general for you? I always ask
Okay.
this question for my guests because I think this is, I like to see the point of view. So what is
Mm-hmm.
fluency for you?
I think talking about myself, I would say that fluency is just the ability to use the language in conversations and feeling confident that you are able to get your point across. Because it all comes down, like for me, it all comes down to conversations. Because if you're able to build this connection with a person, then you're fluent. Okay, it's fine because a lot of people are so worried about making mistakes. I mean, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes, but if I focus on the fact that I make mistakes, then I don't focus on the good things, right? Oh, like all of those new words that I learned, or like this idiom that I used while talking to someone. So if you feel like, okay, I just had a conversation in English, I think I explained, everything well. The person understood me, I understood them. That's it. This is fluency.
I like your point of view. For me, it's the same. I think to be able to communicate in English, Spanish, whatever is the language
Mm-hmm.
is confidently.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's not a big of a deal because I can see people waiting for to be perfect to speak the language.
Yeah,
And this doesn't happen. If you don't make mistakes, you won't improve. I usually say that mistakes are one of the best teachers we can have in life.
for sure. For sure. Because yeah, when you make a mistake and you realize that if you've made a mistake, you can remember that, oh, it's a mistake. Then later I'm gonna try not to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Notice that you are not correct and try to improve all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Let
Yeah.
me ask you this question, Veronica. What was your biggest challenge learning English and right now teaching the language?
Um, okay, my biggest challenge learning the language was actually this desire to become perfect. I had to really work on it because I was I don't know, for the longest time, I thought that my English was not good enough. I can always improve. I mean, I still believe that I can always improve and get better, but the way you think about it is very important, right? If you beat yourself up for it, if you're like, oh my God, my English is so bad, I can't believe I just made a mistake, then, well, it's not going to do you any good. But if you acknowledge the fact that, okay, I just made a mistake, or, oh, it's an interesting grammar thing, maybe I should learn more about it, like being more positive, right, about your progress and about where you're at right now. So yeah, I think that was definitely something that I had to work with for a very long time. I do feel a lot better right now, but obviously I don't want to be perfect. This is something that I've worked on. When it comes to teaching English, I think my biggest challenge is also sometimes I think that I'm an imposter, but it happens to many of us, not just non-native speakers, and
Hands
especially
down.
right now. Yeah, especially right now when uh, you become, for example, viral on social media or your account grows, there are certain people who are going to make videos about you, criticizing your English, saying that, oh, you made a mistake here, you made a mistake there. But like, what's the point? I know that I make mistakes in English, but at the same time, first of all, I know that I don't make them all the time. I'm confident in my English. I know that, I try to speak as well as I can. And my main kind of purpose on social media, or my main goal, if you will, is inspiring people, motivating
Wow.
people, because I want to show people that I'm a non-native speaker too. I don't want to be that teacher who is like, oh, I have this certificate, that certificate, I'm cool, I've taken so many courses, I'm a teacher, I know everything about English, because of course you don't. That's the thing. And I think my dad really helped me understand that, because he's a doctor. And being a doctor, you really do have to say that, oh, I don't know. Like if you ask a doctor, oh, what about this? What about that? Sometimes they're going to say, I don't know. They need time to research. They're not Google, they're not like a medicine book. They don't know all the answers. But the thing is, if you want to continuously learn and grow, that's the most important part.
Veronica, you touch on a point that it's really important. The When you feel like an imposter, and I think this happened with all students of English, Spanish, whatever, because it happened to me too. Sometimes I felt like I'm a fraud. I'm not supposed to be doing a podcast, for example. It's like thoughts that come to our mind, and I want to say for you guys that are watching us, this happened with Veronica. It happens to me. It will happen to you, for everybody. But you don't need to stop to improve your English and try to speak, because people will judge you for sure. People will to be, say something about your English, but it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you are improving. You are doing something amazing. When I see somebody like you that is a non-native English speaker with a YouTube channel teaching people, I got very happy. I get very happy because I noticed that it was really hard for that person to be there. It's
Mm-hmm.
not easy at all, because right now I know that's not easy, because you show your face, you make mistakes, and people will see your mistakes. But it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you are helping people, you are inspiring people. And this is the reason I decided to start this podcast, because I want to inspire more people by the example that if I am speaking English now, everybody can do it. Because I am a shy person. I'm not. I make a lot of mistakes. I'm not. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can do it, everybody can. So I want to show this to people, because sometimes they just need to be inspired to start to do something amazing and improve their English. And I think we have a lot of things in common, because I noticed the same thing when you said I felt like an imposter. People make videos about me, criticizing my English, my mistakes. I know what you mean. I saw one video about this. It
Mm,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are doing a great job. You are inspired millions of people. I saw your Instagram account. You have right now, I think, over than a million. You achieved
yeah,
recently. So congratulations!
yeah.
It's a great
Thank you.
achievement. It's amazing. I got very happy to see that. And I think it's about this. When you help people, you help yourself too, because I know that teaching people, you are learning more, improving your English as well. Even I don't know if it's possible to improve because your English is perfect. When I saw you the first time, I didn't know that you are not from the US, for example.
Mm.
I was shocked when you said I'm from Russia. I didn't know that. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, sometimes, for example, when I meet some new people who are from the United States, when I first like start talking to them, for example, for like a minute or two, like not a very long conversation, they always ask me, "Oh, where are you from in the States?" And I'm like, I'm not from the States." And they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Russia." And they're like, interesting. But
No
then
way.
usually what happens is like the more we talk, then they usually tell me, okay, now I can hear that. You know, like little things here and there that they can hear, that they can understand that, okay, I'm not a native speaker. But I don't care. For me, it's just funny, you know, funny that like the fact that I can kind of fool a person. Obviously, I don't want to fool anyone, but it's just a fun activity, right? I always start talking to people and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" Like, "Where do you think I'm from?" So it's just a fun way to spend my time.
Yeah, and there is something interesting about this. Normally, my experience, normally, when I'm speaking with a native English speaker, they don't, the conversation normally is kind of, I don't, how can I say, they don't judge me. They just want to
Of course
talk.
not. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
And
one. Yeah.
and people freak about the fact to speak with a native English speaker because they think they will
Mm,
laugh because of the accent or because of the pronunciation or everything. But they don't. I noticed that I'm from Brazil, and I noticed that people from Brazil judge me more than the natives, for example.
oh my
And I,
God.
yeah, they don't expect you speak perfectly. They just want to understand
Yeah.
you. But I noticed that a lot of students have this problem. They think, okay, I will just open my mouth to talk to a native when my English is okay, when it's perfect. I see people that live in America and they are afraid to speak with a native English speaker, at the street or at the supermarket or in some place because they think I need to be perfect to talk to them, and they are not expecting that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly. No, it's absolutely not true. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's even, I feel like even when you do make a mistake, for example, when you talk to a native speaker, it's great because this way you have a chance to learn something in English, but at the same time you have a chance to do this culture exchange, as I call it, because usually when you make a mistake, uh, for example, okay, maybe you don't know the rule, but maybe it's because you're translating from your native language, right? And like a great example, I'm going to give you an example because a few days ago I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, I mean, I know this expression doesn't exist in English, but I still wanted to say it translating from my native language, Russian, because I think it's a hilarious expression. And now my friend started using this expression in English too, because it's just so funny. The expression is pull the bananas out of your ears. Like, and listen to
Ah,
me carefully, right? This expression kind of means, oh, listen to me carefully. Pull the bananas out of your ears.
I love it.
I know,
It
it's just
it
so
it
funny.
doesn't exist.
And
It doesn't exist in English, but totally makes sense when you say it. I can visualize a person taking,
exactly.
you know, interesting.
Exactly. And like right now, even though, of course, I know that this expression doesn't exist in English, and if like you're taking an exam or a test in English, you can't just write in your essay, oh, I asked my friend to pull the bananas out of his ears. It's not gonna work. But when you talk to your friend and you're both, in on it, like you both know the joke, why not? It's just so fun. Like
Yeah.
I want to be this representative of my culture. Yeah, I don't want to become American. I want to be who I am. So that's
And the good thing,
yeah,
like you can apply your own culture to English. Like your friend right now, I'm sure your friend is telling this expression to other people because it's really fun.
exactly.
You kind of add something to the English language that maybe in the future could be like part of the language, because the language is it's made by people, not just
Hmm.
natives, but people all over the world. So yeah, interesting,
Exactly.
interesting.
And I just find so much joy in being this person who, like, when I said that I don't want to be American, what I meant is, of course, I do want to have like some parts of this culture, right? Because, like, I'm learning the accent, for example, and I do want to understand like certain things about the culture. But at the same time, I want to, be Russian. I want to be Mexican. That's why like I'm learning all of those languages, learning more about all of those cultures because it helps me become this unique person, an interesting
Yeah.
person because yeah, that's what I
Oh,
like
let
about it.
me ask you two questions. I'm afraid to forget one of them, but let's try it.
Mhm,
The first one is about pronunciation. How did
mhm.
you develop your pronunciation skills? Because I noticed you speak very, very well. I can't see any accent. Like I know people from Russia that speak English with an accent, but you don't have this kind of accent.
I can
And
do the Russian
I,
accent too.
yeah, please do it.
Um, okay, I can say something like, okay, hello, I'm from Russia. My name is Veronica, and I live in Mexico City right now.
The R is very, very strong in our language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw in one of your YouTube videos you speaking in your father's accent from Russia. It was really
Mm,
fun. It was like
yeah,
this.
exactly. Yeah,
And how did you
it's
develop
like,
your accent in English? Because pronunciation is really important. And right now, I am uh, focused more in pronunciation because I want to improve this aspect of the language. First,
mhm,
before my challenge was speak. I want to speak, and I kind of did that. I'm doing that right now. But right now, I think the most important thing for me is working my pronunciation to speak a better English, to be and people understand me. So, how did you develop this skill? Because I want to do the same.
yeah. So before I answer your question, I'm gonna start the recording on my camera again because it turned off. Sorry for that.
No problem. No problem.
It's just like my camera always only records for 30 minutes. Okay, so it's recording. Perfect. Um, okay, so answering your question, there was a time when I was, and I am still very interested in accents. And when I meet a person who can replicate a lot of different accents, I'm always in awe because I'm like, oh, how is it possible? It's amazing. A few days ago, I watched a stand-up show on Netflix. Unfortunately, I don't remember what it was called, but the comic there, his kind of main like the main thing about him is that he can replicate a lot of different accents. He is, I think, from the United States or from Canada. So he can speak with American accent, he can speak with a British accent, he can speak with an Australian accent, with the Indian accent. So it was just fascinating to me. And I just like the way the American accent sounds because usually it's from what I've noticed, it's a deeper kind of voice. And when I speak Russian, for example, I sound very high, like my voice is kind of higher, and I sound like I don't want to say like a little girl, but this is always something that I like. I really like working on my voice. Like people who are voice actors, for example, or who do like speech therapy, I was always fascinated with that. So yeah, that's why I decided to kind of work on my American accent. And again, I turned to YouTube. Just there's just so many good videos by native speakers. Obviously, if you're trying
Yeah.
to learn an accent, it's better that you learn from a native speaker, obviously, even though, I can explain certain, like, for example, if a student asks me like, oh, how do you pronounce this word? Obviously, I can explain, I can show it to them, but then always I will say, okay, but then, go to this YouTube channel by a native speaker and like watch her videos because still, like, I understand I'm not a native speaker and there's still going to be maybe some things that I pronounce differently. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't think you need to be afraid about this because right now my pronunciation teacher is not from the US. She's not a native
Hmm.
English speaker, and she's awesome. I learned that to make the sounds, you just need to use the right muscles and your tongue
Exactly.
in the right
Mm-hmm.
way.
Yep.
So I never saw an English teacher from America doing the same thing.
Mm.
Explain how you can produce that sound in English. So I think you totally can do it because your pronunciation is really good, and if you focus more, and explain this aspect of the language, I don't think
Yeah.
this is going to be hard for you. Not at all.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. You said that you have kind of a different personality in Russian than you have in English. Your voice is
Mm.
different. My second question is about this. Do you have a different personality or things like that in Spanish, English, Russia, Chinese? How it works for you?
Honestly, yeah, I have heard many people say that, when I speak this language, I have a different personality. No, I feel like for me, it's the same. I don't really have a different personality. I do, my voice changes a little bit. But it's just because I'm such a nerd when it comes to certain topics and I go really
Really?
deep. And for example, when it comes to like voice stuff, right? I just love learning more about that. For example, when actors have to learn a new accent for a movie, right? Like it's fascinating how it happens. But yeah, I think for me, the reason why I would say that I don't have a different personality is because I have a lot of people who I'm very close with in different languages. And I want to be my true self, right? I don't want to be one person with my parents and then a different person with my friends. It just doesn't, for example, when I speak English, right? It just doesn't make sense for me. I want to be who I am, no matter if it's English or Russian or Spanish. Um, yeah, so I think it happens to some people, but I'm really trying to focus on the fact that I stay the same person because I don't
Um,
want my parents to know me this way and then my friends know me a different way because I am Veronica, I'm one person.
Yeah, for me it's a little bit different. I do notice that I have a different personality in Portuguese, in English, in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because I want, but I don't know. It's kind of it was the way that I developed the language was like that. For example, I'm a very shy person in Portuguese. If you
Mm-hmm.
put me in front of people to speak like in a speech in Portuguese, it's gonna be very hard for me. But in English, right now, no worries, I can do it. In Spanish, no worries, I can do it. But in Portuguese, no. So and also my voice changed a little bit. For example, in Portuguese, I'm more serious. In English, I'm more like a little serious, but more fun.
Mm-hmm.
In Spanish, it's totally different. In Spanish, I'm more bueno, tengo que hablar de eso, no soy más, I'm more like energetic in Spanish, because the language is more like that, and I don't know. It's kind of it's not because I want, but it's things that happen to me. So I have this kind
Yeah.
of thing with languages.
And yeah, I agree with you. Usually it does happen this way, but the reason why I said that right now I just have one personality everywhere is because I really try to focus on that. Because usually that's exactly what happens. Different languages pull your personality in different directions. But
Yeah.
I am conscious of that. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm more confident when I speak English. How can I bring this confidence into Russian? Or, okay, I'm more fun and outgoing when I speak Spanish. How can I bring my personality, like being outgoing and fun, into English, for example? And it does take work. Consciously reminding myself that
Yeah.
I am one person. I want to be fun and outgoing and confident in all of the languages I speak. So
It's a
yeah.
great point. This is a great point. And I think I need to develop this because I want to be the same person. For example, I want to
Mm-hmm.
have the same confidence I have in English, I want to have in Portuguese as well, because
Yeah.
I need this confidence in my daily life. So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, Veronica, let me talk about this. You told me that you have a YouTube channel, Instagram account with a lot of people, millions of people. So, what do you teach to people on the internet? What are the lessons that you have, the kind of lessons that you have? What do you teach to students on the internet?
Well, I just teach people English. I give them different tips about how, for example, I learn the language will help me. I teach them interesting expressions, different like things about the accent, just fun stuff for them to get motivated and to learn something new. Because I also understand that, and I hope that like all of the people listening to us or watching us understand that uh, just scrolling on Instagram is not enough. For example, right now you're listening to this podcast, and that is amazing. That is enough because it's long, right? It's longer than like 5 minutes long or 30 seconds long, as many of the videos are, and you're like you kind of um, I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm gonna give you an example. When you're on TikTok and you're scrolling, what happens is you're just scrolling. You don't pay attention to what you see. You're like, oh, fun video, useful tip about English, like, or you just continue scrolling. A lot of people, they don't even like videos. So you're just like, okay, fun video, cool. I learned something new. But then, an hour later, most likely you will forget everything. So that's where longer content comes in, right? That's why I make long YouTube videos. That's why, for example, you have this amazing podcast, and I just love podcasts so much. So they're an amazing way to learn English or anything like whatever it is, anything.
Yeah,
Um,
this is one of the reasons I love YouTube the most. I like Instagram. I don't have TikTok, but I like Instagram. For me to learn something, YouTube is the best
mhm.
option because you have it's not superficial, As you mentioned, you are not just
Exactly.
scrolling on your phone.
Exactly.
You need to pay attention. You need to, for example, a podcast like this, you need to spend time listen to learn
Mhm.
something. By the way, guys, if you when Veronica say something uh, like an expression or something, it will pop in on screen because it's important for you to see the meaning of some expressions or vocabulary words or something. Because all the time I want to bring things that people can understand, because sometimes the guests say something advanced that they don't know, so I put on screen because I think this is important to improve and learn more, because you are not here for
Yeah,
1 hour. You need to be here to learn something cool, something that you can apply in your
exactly.
English on a daily basis. So this is one of the things that I do, and as Veronica said, long content is good because of that. You have the opportunity to see like a deep content, not just a 5 second video or something, because it won't help you to improve. So
Mm-hmm. I
great stuff.
think short videos are great because they help you discover your favorite creators, right? They help you maybe get motivated because I often make motivational videos. So if it's like a motivational video about English that is 60 seconds long, the purpose of this video is to motivate you, right? Like I don't need to make a 30-minute video motivating you. Most likely you will get bored. That's why short videos are amazing for that. But if you are going on Instagram or TikTok and your goal is, oh, let me learn some English right now, I am not sure if it's the best way. Probably you should go to YouTube or your favorite podcasting app, for example, or read a book, but not watch short videos.
Read a book. I want to talk about books in 1 second, but first I want to ask you a question about motivation. Uh, how important do you think motivation is in to learn English, for example?
Mhm. Well, I always say that motivation is a myth. I'm that type of person because I don't think it's just like a lot of people. The problem that I see with motivation is that a lot of people rely too much on it, right? They wake up in the morning and they say, I don't have any motivation. I'm not going to do anything. They wake up the next morning and they feel the same. They wake up the next morning and nothing has changed. But you really see progress and change when you do something, no matter if you have motivation or not. A lot of people say that motivation, um, you find motivation in doing something. When you start learning English and in the process of learning, if you're using something you love, right, like a material you love, you're reading your favorite book, you will be quote unquote motivated. You will be, I would say, kind of interested, right? This is a better word. You will be interested in it because it's something you love doing, and you will be like, okay, let me do a little bit more because I love it. The same thing with everything in life. If you need to, um, clean your house, right? A lot of people feel demotivated to do it because, like, oh, I don't like cleaning, it's so boring. Well, there are a lot of different things you can do. You can hire someone to clean for you if you don't want to do that, or you don't want, I mean, you can't pay someone. You can, for example, turn on your favorite music and it will kind of help you get in the right mood, right? Or maybe listen to a podcast while cleaning your house. So, yeah, it's kind of all about that.
What it's saying is motivation without action, it doesn't mean anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
agree.
way to put it. Yep.
I agree. I like to be motivated because I think if you're motivated to do something is better. But sometimes
Mm-hmm.
not easy to be motivated to study English, to do something that
No,
your brain's telling you, don't do that. Go to the bed or go to
for sure.
TikTok or go to whatever, go to any place, but don't do that because I'm lazy. I don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And as you mentioned, it's important to do something even without motivation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good.
Well, it's just the thing is you always have to know why you need this, right? Because, for example, a good example is me and Spanish, because oftentimes I can say, oh, I don't have any motivation. But then when I feel like this, I always try to dig deeper and think, okay, why? Why do I say that I don't have any motivation? And then I start thinking, okay, I feel tired after working so much, right? Then I'm like, okay, then I should move things around, right? If I'm tired at 6 p.m., like I just don't, like I'm so tired, I don't want to learn anything, like I just want to take a walk. Why not learning Spanish in the morning? So kind of rearrange things, right? Okay, then maybe I don't want to learn Spanish because I feel like I suck. No, I'm not amazing at Spanish. So why not choosing something easier or finding a new resource? So it's like, you have to dig deeper always and ask yourself more questions. Why is that? What can you do to change that?
this is the way you break the pattern to, to feel like I'm not motivated to get motivated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good, good. Well, I'm learning so much things here with you because a lot of things that I ask, I have this problem sometimes. For example, at the beginning, I was struggling with studying English because I was not motivated enough, and I thought, okay, I won't do that today. Tomorrow, I can come back to the to study, but
hmm
it was like a trap for me because I was like procrastinating something, and I don't like to do that. So I like the tips
hmm
you did to break this pattern and do something even you are not feeling like to do it.
hmm Yeah, but it's also important to um, find things that are gonna give you joy, right? For example, for me with Spanish, again, using Spanish as an example, what motivates me, right, if we're using this word, is when I go out there, when I go outside and I have a conversation with someone in Spanish in a grocery store or in a park, someone comes up to me and I'm able to respond even if it's broken, my broken Spanish, even if I'm struggling, but this connection, right? I always talk about it. Like when this connection happens, I'm like, okay, I'm learning Spanish. I'm gonna go back home, I'm gonna study Spanish. This is why I'm learning Spanish because of the people. Like I don't care about the textbooks. I don't care about like a lot of things. I'm learning a language because of the people, and textbooks help me uh, create this bond, this connection with people. It's not,
Wow.
I'm not in love with textbooks. That was my point. It's not that I'm looking at my book and I'm like, oh my God, I love you. You taught me grammar, so many useful words.
You're my
It's a
best friend.
tool. Exactly, you're my best friend. No, it's a tool for me to find my best friend. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And speaking about books, Veronica, I noticed that you like to read. I think you have a book club or something, right?
Yeah, I have a book club, but it's only available for the students of the speaking club. So if you have
Um,
participated in my speaking club, you can sign up because the book club is free. Yeah, I love reading. I read all the time. So,
yeah, and how to read books in English can help students to improve their English in your own
mhm.
experience.
Well, reading has helped me a lot. Like this is definitely something that I always talk about. Like read books, they will help you a lot. But obviously at the very beginning, uh, well, like from like what I remember when I was in high school or my like first, second year in college, I read a lot of books for teenagers. Like books that many adults might find silly, a little bit, just like strange because it's usually like this teenage drama, all of that. But the reason why I wanted to read them is that just guys, the vocabulary there is amazing. Like all of the words you will learn, informal, useful, everyday vocabulary. Also grammar, right? It's not something super crazy there. You're not reading research. You're just learning about a life of a high school student, for example. And that's something that motivated me, right? Like made me interested in English because it's like, oh, wow, I understand this. Oh, this is a cool word, like an everyday word, a useful expression, a useful idiom, a useful phrasal verb. But obviously, right now, I no longer read those books. I read very nerdy books just because this is my personality. This is who I am. Right now, I'm reading a book about sleep. It's called Why We Sleep. I really like it, but it's like nerdy, a lot of scientific words, scientific graphs. This book has graphs. So it's
But you're improving your English level because you are learning from a book that's not a standard English level. It's kind of very
of
high level,
course,
right?
exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, I do read nonfiction books, for example, just a story. I love a good story. And even if it's a nonfiction book, I sorry, if it's a fiction book. If it's a fiction book, I will learn a lot still. Even reading a story. I mean, I love children's books, for example. I love how colorful they are, even though I don't have kids yet, but it's just something that I love. Yeah.
And I think books for kids in English can help students that are in the beginning of the journey to understand more
Mm,
about the language, because the structures are more simple, right? The grammar are more
mm-hmm,
simple. Then you can
mm-hmm,
learn things that are more basic uh, before
exactly.
to start to read more advanced books or things that are more uh, hard to understand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I also one thing that I also feel like a lot of people do wrong when they learn English is they try to follow this traditional pattern of, oh, these are the words I have to know now because I'm a beginner. These are the words I have to know now because I'm an intermediate student. Or grammar, right? This is grammar for me because I'm a beginner. First, I have to learn about present simple. I wake up at 8 a.m. Then I have to learn about present continuous. I am running right now. But this is not how language works. And
Yeah.
a very good example of that is children. Look at how children learn a language. It's not like that. They learn the language kind of like when they need it, right? Like they're trying to say something to their parents, for example, oh, look at this, and they don't know how to say it, and their parent helps them. Or oftentimes it's very different from the way you're learning the language. They don't learn first to say, oh, I wake up every day. Most likely they will learn present continuous first because they will say, oh, mommy, I'm running, or I am doing something right now, like I'm drawing, for example. So, yeah,
Yeah, nowadays I learn English like this. I just learn what I need at that time. I don't try to learn something
exactly.
that for example, why I will study English in like medical terms. I don't
Mm-hmm.
use it. I don't need this to use in my job, and
Exactly.
so I don't need to this kind of vocabulary or expressions or something. So I will learn this when I need that kind of resource.
When you need that, and also when you become interested in that.
Yeah.
Because one day it might happen that you come across a YouTube channel, maybe about medicine, you're like, oh, this is so interesting. It's so fascinating. And gradually you will learn all of this vocabulary. I, for example, love medicine. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to become a doctor, but I grew up in this kind of family. My dad is a doctor, and he always shared like books with me about medicine. So that's why for me, this is something that I studied in English because I follow a lot of doctors on YouTube, and they post videos about health, medicine, and I watch them. But at the same time, I don't watch videos about physics or chemistry or engineering because it's just not something I'm interested in.
Yeah, if you try to learn that, I think you will not be successful because you don't like that type of things, right? It's not the thing
Mm-hmm.
that you are interested in. So it's harder to
Exactly.
to, to understand something that you don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And I often say like, okay, for example, talking about those specific topics, right? Like medicine or sports maybe or physics. I always ask my students this question. Okay, you want to learn medicine related vocabulary, but then tell me, can you can you explain a term to me? Or can you explain what it is in medicine, for example? Because we have just watched a video. And if I see that a student is like so excited to talk about this topic, to explain what I don't know, circadian clock is. Like, what is our circadian rhythm? Like, what that is to explain all of those concepts. Then, okay, yeah, go for it. Learn all of those words and stuff. But if you just feel like, okay, I have no idea what I'm supposed to say. I just learned this word just because. What's the point of it? Just spend your time doing something else.
Yeah, you're right. Do something that you are really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And Veronica, speaking about interesting things, let me know more about your English speaking club because
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested in this type of things because I think the best way to speak English is speaking English. Some people ask me, Fred, how can I speak? You need to speak. You need to open your mouth. You need to practice. So,
Yeah.
speak. Please tell me a little bit about your English speaking club and how an English speaking club can help people to improve this aspect of the language.
Yeah, so I agree with you when you say that the best way to improve your speaking is to speak. I mean, that's the only way really. If you want to feel confident when you speak English, you need to practice, right? You need to speak more and more and more. So my speaking club is all about that, right? Helping students find this community, find this safe space where they can speak English with others, where they can learn new expressions because I'm the teacher, obviously. Even though I'm listening to all the students, giving them a chance to speak up, at the back of my at the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, here is a new expression for you to learn. Here is like this is like you're trying to say it this way, but what about that way? What about if like we change it a little bit? Yeah, so basically giving them useful vocabulary, some maybe sometimes grammar stuff, but it's mostly about speaking, building these connections with other students from different countries, because most of our students have never traveled abroad or have visited a few countries, but they get a chance to speak to a person from a completely different country that they have never visited before.
Yeah, I like this approach. I like English speaking clubs because it's the opportunity you have to, as you mentioned, to learn something new, like expressions or
Mm-hmm.
something, but most to connect with people and just practice the language. Because sometimes uh, at the beginning of my English learning journey, I noticed that some people have a great English, but they are not able to speak because they have a lot of things in their mind that hold them back to speak the language. But one thing that you said that's for me it's really important. It's a safe place to
Mm-hmm.
practice. I think this make a lot of difference in somebody's English learning journey because
Mm-hmm.
they have, they know the words, they know a lot of things, but they are not able to speak because they think, okay, somebody will laugh at me, somebody will judge me because my English is broken, because my English is not good. So when we have spaces like this that you are safe, you can say everything you want, you can make mistakes, you can do whatever you want in trying to improve your English, I think you have more opportunities to grow. And it was part of my journey. When I decided to open my mouth in a safe place, I start to grow my English. I start to develop my English so much better. So and tell me how students can join to your English speaking clubs and what they can expect to receive that there.
Well, yeah, basically, my speaking club lasts for 4 weeks. So you can only register once a month, right? Give me a second one more time. Sorry. It's
No
been 30
problem.
minutes already. Okay, perfect. Um, yeah, so for example, right now, I believe in 2 weeks, I will open registrations for the new cohort meaning group of people. So yeah, you just join, you go to my website, speakful.club/speaking club. Yeah, and there you register, you can choose your tier. We have basic tier, we have the pro tier, we also have a subscription that is cheaper. Yeah, and basically that's how you join. It's pretty easy to join. You have like a 2 week window each month to join. I always talk about it on my social media. So you can go to my Instagram, for example, follow me on Instagram to, uh, if you don't want to miss the shout out about my speaking club. What you can expect? Well, first of all, you can expect to meet amazing students, become a part of a wonderful community, make new friends. We have people who, like, when I say they have become friends, it's 100% true. Obviously, not every single person, finds a friend. It depends on you. Some people come because they just want to speak. They don't want to find new friends. But some people come because they do want to find a friend from a different country, and they continue talking even outside the speaking club. Yeah, and obviously you will improve your English because it's a course, right? It's not just about speaking. We talk on a specific topic, and I share some interesting vocabulary with you. I give you homework. You have to watch specific YouTube videos on this topic. Send me voice recordings. It's like your homework, a voice recording, answering a question, and then I give you feedback. So yeah, it's just a great place. So guys,
Yeah,
sign up in 2 weeks.
guys, sign up. The link will be on the description. And I think the best thing about this is you are doing something to help all the students that is the same thing you did to improve your English. And people can see
Yeah,
if I want to speak English like Veronica, I need to follow her method or her style because
exactly.
it's
Exactly.
work. It works. She is a proof that this works. So people can follow the same style or method that you did to achieve this level of English, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're absolutely right.
Good guys. If you don't don't want to stop your English learning journey, if you want to really speak English for sure, follow her on Instagram, follow her on YouTube as well, and sign up in her English speaking club because you see she is doing a great job. Her English is amazing. Is a great teacher, and for me it was a great pleasure to meet you and talk to you today, Veronica. I was expecting that for a long time, and I'm so happy that I had this chance, and I learned so much things from you today. Not just about English, but about the way we can learn, about motivation, about a lot of things. So I want to say thank you so much for being here, for share a little bit about your knowledge, about your experience in as a learner of language, right? And I
Yeah.
want to ask you the last question. Uh, I ask this question for everybody that I interview, and I want to know your thoughts about this. This is the question. If you could give only one advice to an English learner that are stuck right now, what you could say to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you're an English learner and you feel stuck, forget about English for a second and just think about what you love in your everyday life that is not connected to English, that is just connected to you, your everyday life, maybe your work, if you love your work. Uh, think about that and create a list, create a list of, let's say, 5 things. If you can do more, write 10 things. Bullet points, just 10 bullet points about things you're truly interested in, like something that brings you joy, something that you love. And then read your list and then think about how you can do all of those things in English, right? For example, let me give you a great example that I think a lot of people have not even thought about, because I know there are some people who are like, well, I don't know, I'm kind of interested in this or that, but I know a lot of people who are parents, for example, or who are married, who want to have kids in the future, and raising kids or being a parent is something they're interested in. So maybe you can watch videos on YouTube in English by a family, right? Nothing too scientific. Don't go to TED Talks immediately. This is not what you should be doing. find an English speaking family who talk about raising their children, who talk about, I don't know, like marriage and stuff, whatever you're interested in, and just follow them and watch their videos. Yeah, so it's just an example. Basically, that's my tip.
Yeah, I like that. Follow your passion, and then you learn English, you learn new things, you learn things that you really love. And yeah, when we are passionate about something, we can learn more than when we try to just follow like a pattern that somebody is telling you that's the best option for you.
Exactly. Yeah, when I say that I love reading books about science, it doesn't mean you should copy me. No,
Yeah.
do not like if you're like me, of course, like go ahead. Like if this is something you love, I think me sharing the books I'm reading right now is going to be very helpful to you. But it doesn't mean that everyone should be doing that. Of course not.
Yeah.
Find your own path. Yeah.
Find your own path. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Well, Veronica, we are coming to the end, and I want to say thank you so much for being here. I love our conversation. I love to meet you because you are a very outgoing person. You are very, I don't know, you are very kind, and I love to talk to you. So if you can want to say something else before we leave, please, you're free to do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I know we had to wait for a while to do this interview because first I got sick, then I went to Brazil, and yeah, but I'm so happy to finally be here and just be talking to you. This interview was extremely interesting for me as well. Talking to you was a pleasure. Yeah, so keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, thank you. Hopefully, we'll talk in the future again.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. And guys, if you love this conversation as I did, please subscribe in the channel, hit the thumbs up, and help us to spread this interview for more people to see. And I'll see you in the next episode. God bless you, and bye bye.